Hello students, my name is Sam Rosemark. I'm your student body president and I'm here to encourage you to be a voter this election season. As you know, we're in the middle of a general election and presidential election season with the election happening on November 3rd, which is coming up really quick. We're less than 50 days away. So it is crucial that you be a voter and that you cast your ballot. It's important that you vote for candidates with similar beliefs with you. In order for initiatives you care about to advance. So please be a voter. I encourage you to vote by mail this election season. Many people are already voting and have already gotten their absentee ballots. In the 2012 presidential election, over 70% of more students voted. That is 7 in 10. So be a voter and cast your ballot by mail. I'm going to now turn it over to Julia Scoville, who will talk a little bit about our wonderful Turbovote system that the University of Minnesota has that makes voter registration and voting by mail super easy. So with that, happy voting.
Hi everybody, I'm Julia Scoville. I'm our Get Out the Vote intern for student activities this year, and I'm here today to show you how to register to vote using Turbovote. So here we go. First off, our voting competition this year says that the floor that has the highest percentage of people registered to vote before October 13th will win Higbee's gift cards for everyone on the floor. So make sure you register and encourage your floor mates to do the same. So first, we're going to go to z.umn.edu/votes, or if you go to MyU, there's a little tab where you can go in and get sent over to Turbovote right away. And first thing you're going to do after selecting your campus is just type in your name, and if you would like to include your nickname, you can feel free to do that. That way, if you get notifications from Turbovote, then they will call you by that nickname or your preferred name. So after you type that in, here's your option of whether or not you want to get notifications. So you can type in your phone number or your email, or if you just don't want notifications at all, you can just hit continue. Next, it asks if you're registered to vote. For our purposes today, I'm going to say no, I'm not sure, but of course, make sure you answer whatever is correct for you. So select no, I'm not sure. Then where do you want to register to vote? This means where do you want to have your vote be counted? So if you're looking at voting on campus based on your residence here, then you can use this drop down where it says select a campus address to select what hall you're living in on campus. Then the Morris University address will just autofill, but then where it says apartment, just type in your PO box number. But if you want to put in an address that is off campus, whether that's here in Morris or somewhere else back home, just type it in below and then hit continue. Then how do you want to register? I would recommend registering online just because then you can get it all done at once and you don't have to wait for things to go back and forth in the mail. So we're going to click online, and that will take you to the Minnesota Secretary of State website. And so this is just to see whether you're registered or eligible even to vote in this election. So it'll ask you some few basic questions. And then at the end of that, it will tell you you are registered to vote. And it will tell you when the next election is, which is November 3rd, and where your in-person voting place would be if you are voting in person. Then you go back to the Turbovote tab on your computer, click yes, you finished the online voter registration process. Then it asks for your party. This is another option where you can choose just to move on without selecting a party, or you can check out the drop-down menu and see what parties they give you the options of choosing between, because it is more than just Democrat and Republican. So continue. Then it asks how you'd like to vote in this upcoming election, whether you want to vote by mail or at the polls. And as a university system, we are encouraging students to vote by mail because come November 3rd, we don't know where we'll be due to coronavirus. So it is strongly encouraged to vote by mail. So that's what I selected here. And here you can either decide to ask Turbovote to mail the forms to you, or you can print them out on your own and fill them out, then mail it to Turbovote. which they would offer free shipping and all of that for you. So I'm going to select mail my forms to me just so that we can take a look at what that looks like. And it asks where I want to receive mail, because that top address is where my home address is, where my driver's license says my address is. But since I'm living on campus, I would want to click somewhere else because I want them to mail my materials to me here on campus. Then you would put in your mailing address, which is the campus address. And then once again, where it says apartment, that's where you would put your PO box number. But there is another option. When we look back at the Secretary of State website, so this is where you're at after you see whether you're registered to vote, down here at the bottom, you can see it says absentee ballot application. You can click that and then just fill out that application online, so that after you fill out all of these questions, starting first with the address that you live at, then it'll submit that for you so that you don't have to print out those forms and mail them in, and so that you don't have to wait for Turbovote to mail those forms to you. Of course, this is just for Minnesota residents and people that are voting in Minnesota. I am not sure how this applies out of state. But one other thing I do want to plug, after you're all done with Turbovote, after you're done registering and you request your absentee ballot, I would highly recommend checking out our 2020 research guide that was made by our team over at Briggs Library. If you go to My U, then to the library, then you can just scroll down, and on the right, you'll see the Election 2020 research guide. And if you click in there, you can see that Peter Bremer and our amazing team at Briggs have put together a ton of resources that tell you why you should vote, what's happening in federal to local elections, the news surrounding the elections. And this is a really great resource if you're not sure where to go. When you need information and you just want to start researching, this is a great start. So have fun and don't forget to be a voter.